Advertising is the art of convincing people to want things they don't need. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lancescurv. I hope this video reaches you in the best of health and mental state of mind and spiritual ascension. It's a wonderful thing to be balanced and to have complete control of your mind and not live in a way where you're impulsive. And that's the reality for most of us out here. And I'll put this piece together because I had several conversations with different acquaintances, and I noticed overall how hell-bent they were on trying to outdo each other in this collective conversation on the things that they purchased. They would go down the list of what they recently purchased and even purchases that they made years ago and name out the price. And I realized what was going on. I realized that many of these people who are so caught up in their $1,500 shoes, and I got this from Italy and it cost me $800, and I have to get the new smartphone every year. Why? And it made me realize that the self-worth of these people was very low. And people would see them with all of the toys that they have toiled hard, worked hard for, to collect, to actually collect dust, that they couldn't pass it down to their children. It wasn't going to go up in value. And it was just a complete waste. And so we have these people who sit around and talk about things. But I've never been one to be envious of anybody's debt. I'm not envious of someone else's debt. I like to create, I like to experience life instead of sitting up in a dusty living room with things. It just doesn't make any sense. I did a little research and came up with some facts that was startling that most of us probably have already known, and maybe there's a few here that don't know. And we need to hear these things on a regular basis and really see how it relates to us. In the intricate tapestry of American society, the Black community stands as a testament to the resilience and enduring strength. Yet, beneath this resilience lies a complex economic narrative shaped by systemic challenges and persistent disparities. In 2024, the collective purchasing power of Black Americans was projected to reach $1.8 trillion. You heard that right. $1.8 trillion. Positioning them as a formidable consumer group. Despite this significant spending capacity, Black households accounted for just under 10% of the nation's total expenditure on goods and services in 2019, a reflection of enduring income and wealth disparities. Homeownership, a cornerstone of wealth accumulation, remains an area of concern. As of 2021, approximately 44% of Black Americans own homes, compared to higher rates among other racial groups. This disparity contributes to a median Black family wealth of $44,900, which is only 15% of that of a typical white family. The criminal justice system further compounds these economic challenges. Black Americans are overrepresented in the prison population. a factor that disrupts economic stability and perpetuates cycles of disadvantage. Additionally, as of January of 2024, the unemployment rate for Black Americans stood at a near record low of 5.3%, reflecting both progress and ongoing challenges in the labor market. These statistics underscore the complex interplay of consumerism, systemic inequities, and economic vulnerabilities within the Black community. Despite substantial spending power, structural barriers continue to impede wealth accumulation and economic parity. Addressing these challenges requires a multifaceted approach that includes policy reforms, community empowerment, and targeted economic initiatives. As we delve deep into this discussion, it becomes imperative to examine how advertising and consumerism exploit these systemic vulnerabilities, often leading to cycles of debt and financial instability. By understanding these dynamics, we can begin to chart a path toward economic empowerment and resilience for the Black community. Stop and think for a second. How many things have you bought in the last few months that you actually needed? Be honest. How many of those purchases were impulsive? If you think you're fully in control of your choices, it might be time to reconsider. Because the truth is, you're not just buying products, you're buying illusions. Have you ever wondered why you constantly feel the urge to get something new? Why even after making a purchase, the satisfaction never lasts? And most importantly, who is really making those decisions for you? There was a time when people only bought what they truly needed. Food, simple clothing, tools, etc. If something broke, they fixed it. If it wasn't necessary, they didn't waste money on it. But look around your home right now. How many things did you buy purely because of advertising? Consumer behavior didn't change by accident. It was designed that way. Advertising used to be about informing people, not manipulating them. Back in the 19th century, ads were simple. They showed a product, its price, and its function. You decided whether you needed it. But by the 20th century, advertising became something else entirely. It stopped selling products and started selling emotions. It wasn't about selling a car anymore. It was about selling status and power. It wasn't about selling clothes. It was about selling self-worth and social acceptance. And just like that, we were programmed to crave, not to think. Advertising doesn't just sell products. It sells a dream, a lifestyle, a false sense of identity. It convinces you that happiness, love, and success come from what you buy, not from what you build. Modern advertising plays directly on your brain chemistry. Every time you buy something new, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical responsible for addiction. That brief moment of pleasure keeps you coming back for more, creating a never-ending cycle of spending, dissatisfaction, and frustration. And here's where it gets even deeper. Big corporations aren't just selling you stuff, they're selling you insecurities. They know exactly what makes you feel inadequate, and they market their products as the solution. Feeling broke? Buy designer clothes to look rich. Feeling lonely? buy the latest phone to feel connected. Feeling unattractive, buy expensive beauty products to feel confident. This manipulation is especially destructive in Black communities. Too many of us are spending money like we're trying to fill a bucket with holes. We buy things we can't afford to impress people who don't even care. We flex on each other with luxury cars, designer brands, and overpriced gadgets, all while struggling to pay rent, build savings, or invest in something that actually secures our future. The worst part, the system is designed to keep us trapped. Every time we start to build, there's a new trend, a new must-have item, a new way to keep us broke and distracted. Black people in America, Canada, the Caribbean, and across the West have been trained to consume, not to create. We chase symbols of success instead of real financial security. And let's talk about those folks who love to brag about their purchases. You know the type. They buy something expensive and can't wait to tell everyone, hoping for admiration or envy. But in reality, they're just proving how deeply programmed they are. They're not rich, they're just spending recklessly, mistaking material things for self-worth. I've had people come to me expecting me to be jealous because they bought something flashy. But I'm a creator, not a consumer. My mind isn't wired to seek validation through possessions. And because I live that way, they call me cheap, thrifty, or boring. But I see it differently. I see them as victims of a system that has turned them into slaves to spending. So how do we break this cycle? How do we escape the endless trap of spending money just to keep up appearances? Number 1, question every purchase. Before buying anything, ask yourself, do I actually need this? Or am I being manipulated? If you feel a sense of urgency or not having enough, that's a red flag. You're being played. Number 2, detach from the hype. Spending money because of flashy advertising, it's got to stop. Stop letting social media and its influences and ads dictate your desires. The less exposure you have to these triggers, the clearer your real needs become. Number 3, invest in knowledge and experiences. Everything you buy loses value over time. But what you learn, create, and experience stays with you forever. Think about it. Instead of buying the latest gadget, take a course. Instead of spending on designer brands, build a skill. You become more valuable, and your skills, your knowledge, and experiences never depreciate. Number 4, stop trying to impress broke people. Real wealth isn't about what you wear or drive. It's about what you own, invest in, and pass down. Stop playing a game designed to keep you in last place. The biggest corporations in the world depend on you staying blind to this. Now that you see the game for what it is, the choice is yours. Do you want to keep being programmed, or are you finally ready to take back control? Because the truth is, you never needed most of the things you bought in your life. You just believed you did. Not because you made that decision, but because someone else made it for you. And that can stop today if you really wanted to. I do hope that you've extracted something positive from my perspectives. Bottom line is we have so much thrown at us in this world, so much confusion that we're born into. We have to take back our minds and live life the way it was meant to be lived. Because to live like that is just so totally frustrating and draining, and it gets you nowhere. Anyway, much love to you all. Lancescurv out. On to the next one. Peace.
Lancescurv.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.